Hi, everyone. This is Sam Silverman, managing partner of EB5AN. Thank you for taking time to join us for today's webinar presentation. Today, we're going to be speaking with a real Twin Lakes EB5 project investor. Duygu from Turkey has graciously offered to share some of her time with us. And so I'm pleased to introduce her. And I guess to start, could you share a little bit about yourself, your background, how long you've been in the United States, and why you decided you wanted to remain in the United States long term?
Hi, Sam. Hi, everyone. This is Duygu. I am from Turkey. Turkey is a beautiful country, delicious food, friendly people, but living and working in the US was always my dream. I don't know why, to be honest. I also studied in Austria. I have traveled around Europe, a little bit around the world, but still US always in my mind. I studied international management in Turkey, and I came here to the United States twice as a tourist. And then after I graduated, after I have worked for a while, it was I have 10 years experience in Turkey, but still always US was in my mind. And after visiting as a tourist, I wanted to give it a try, came here again and did some research. And then I have decided that I want to study or live here or work here. But finding a job, it was not easy. So I have decided to first apply for a student visa. And in 2015, I applied for a student visa, got the approval, and then I had 1 year OPT. During that year, I had an opportunity to work with the tech company. I am in SF, San Jose, California, so Silicon Valley. So with that experience, and also I had an opportunity to work for a resale company that it was selling natural stones to our team. And back in Turkey, I also had worked in construction companies. My father was a contractor. So I had decided to, pull up my connections and everything and give it a shot. So I established my company in 2016. And since then, I am here in the US.
Got it. So since 2016. And so, having been in the US, for 6-7 years, what kind of made you start thinking about pursuing a green card and making an EB5 investment? Why did that kind of appeal as a next step for you?
Sure. So as I said, first of all, it was my dream. And secondly, the economic conditions in Turkey was not the greatest at the moment. And, after living and seeing here the conditions, living conditions and economic conditions, I thought it's more attractive than Turkey. And because I had established the company and I have seen the opportunity with that company, first I have applied for E2 visa, investor visa, and got the approval in 2017. And it was for 5 years. And then I got the, thanks God, renewal in 2022. But then with going on again, getting the renewal, preparing all the documents again and again every 5 years. So I thought I should be looking into some other visa options. At that point, I have realized that there is an opportunity like an EB5. So then I started looking around, looking the projects and, seeing the options.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. We have quite a few investors who, similarly started with an E2 and then, eventually either decided they didn't want to continue running that business, or they just wanted, a little bit more flexibility in terms of their residency in the United States long term. So that's definitely a common situation. So once you'd kind of, decided you wanted to stay long term, you started researching other visa options. Obviously finding an immigration attorney is a critical part of the EB5 process, especially at the beginning. So can you share a little bit about, what your experience was like in, selecting and interviewing an experienced EB5 attorney to help navigate the source of funds process, picking a project, all of that?
Sure, sure. So firstly, because, I had an E2 before, E2 visa before, I had worked with the lawyers, and like 6 years ago, I searched lots of attorneys, and the attorney that I worked at the moment for E2 was a recommendation for me, close friend. And I wish he didn't, but he was doing his best to help me, try to help me. He got me the E2 visa. There was nothing about it. But try to reach out to him, it was unbelievably hard. Every day, every week, like he had a meeting, he had to go some other seminars, he had like family vacations, like some celebrations. He asked me the same questions over and over again, like he never has read whatever I have sent to him, the documents, and it was really tiring. So that's why I was like, okay, I need to find someone that I can talk, I can reach, I can ask questions, I can get answers. And when she or he asks me questions, they're gonna listen to me, and they will not ask me the same questions like all the time. It's normal. I ask the same questions to the lawyers all the time, but that they listen to you, but you try to find some comfort in the answer. That's why you keep asking the same questions. But when you look at from the like, what is your name? I mean, you cannot ask me my name like 15 times. It's like, it's Duygu and it's Duygu. It's not never gonna change. So that's why I needed to find someone that I can talk. And I have talked to, like on Google, you find lots of attorneys. But as I said, I needed to find someone that I can trust. And I talked to like maybe 4 or 5 different lawyers. And then I have decided to go with Anahita, because from the first moment that I talked to her, I knew that she is different. I mean, all of our communications went through WhatsApp. When I went on WhatsApp, when I tried to, write her something, she was like online, or last seen was like 5-10 minutes ago. She is that much approachable. She was always within reach. And as I said, I asked her the same questions. She kindly answered all my questions. She tried to help me with everything. Not only her team was also great. So I'm really, really happy with my choice about my attorney. So that's why I wanted to go with her.
Got it. That's really helpful. So once you decided to go with her, walk us through that process of kind of gathering all the documents, getting things organized, translated. How long did that take? What did the communication look like during that period? And how did Anahita support you, during that time?
Before, during, and after, still, she is always within reach. Preparing the documents was not the hardest part for me, because as I said, I already applied for E2. I always need to like keep my records like next day, if someone else asks me, that I can give it to them right away. So everything was in my Dropbox or Google Drive. So I was saving everything. But the hardest part was on them. I mean, because even we still translate the documents, all the system, like government system or the banking concept, everything is different than whatever they used to, but they were great. I mean, it took, I think I have started working with them second week of August, and we have sent our documents September 15, and it was like 27 pounds. So they really worked hard and prepared everything. And you know what? At one point, I was like, I need to tell her that she needs to get some sleep, because even it was like after 10 p.m., she was writing me and saying that we need to do this, we need to change this, or this is going to be the next step. So I'm really grateful for her and her team.
Got it. Okay. So I guess in summary on that, having just gone through the process, pretty recently, just 2 months ago, what are some tips, some advice that you'd have for, another investor who's considering doing EB5, in terms of picking an EB5 attorney? What are some of the kind of most important things to look for that you think, you'd recommend to someone?
To me personally, as I said, because of my experiences, I needed to find someone that is reachable. So I recommend everyone to talk to different attorneys. I mean, if it's possible, try to see them, meet with them, and find someone that not pushy, not forcing you to do work with them, or work with the certain projects. Give them time, give yourself time, and think really about it, because you're gonna work with them like day and night. And when they ask you something, when you ask them something, you need to feel comfortable about talking. It's really talk, and I mean, they need to be reachable. And when you ask the questions, you will be sure that you're gonna get the answers, and their answers will satisfy you. It's like, building a trust. I know it's like maybe short term, you don't have much time, but even with that time or before that time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, think about it and find someone that you really can trust and talk and reach.
Perfect. That's really helpful. All right. So now, you're at the point where you want to do an EB5 investment. You've done some research on selecting an attorney. You've interviewed a few attorneys. You've decided to go with Anita George.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you did next in terms of project research. What was kind of on your mind in terms of, different things you wanted to prioritize in terms of, characteristics of a potential project?
Sure. EB5 is a big decision, big investment, but it's a big, great opportunity. So for a couple of weeks, months, because I have started looking at EB5 in May 2023. So it took me like almost 2.5 months. So you go on a Google, you do the research, trying to find regional centers that was approved by USCIS. There are so many different regional centers, and the projects, of course. And on my laptop and on my phone, there were so many open pages with all the regional centers, but for most of them, that you cannot find too much information. It's like only the names, the company, where they are located, and what they are doing. And so I needed to find someone that, have some visibility. On the other hand, to be honest, when you do the Google search, you come up to first, your company and culture, and you think like, you know what, this is sometimes it's too much. It might be some tricks there might be some tricks, and you just think that I need to do more research, because I have studied marketing here. I know there is like, organic search and paid search. So I needed to find some organic ones, and it takes time. It's not like 1 day, 2 days. So you need to be patient. You need to be like passionate about it and keep searching. I have found a couple of different projects, regional centers. Some of them were in Oakland, SF Bay Area. The location was not the best. Still is not the best. So I said no. And I don't know why, I always interested in like solar energies, wind energy, and I have found some companies, but they don't have too much paperwork, and you don't get the chance to talk to them that much. They are not open as you are. Finding documents and feeling that the company is real, what they are doing is real, it is one of the most important thing. And I also found some franchising opportunities, like opening a Subway. I didn't have that much time because of my own business. I even thought maybe I can go with my own business, find 10 people, but I didn't want to risk getting an approval, so it was out of the question. And there were some hotel projects, but again, real estate projects are good, but I am not sure about the hotel project. So I started looking into more like single house or condo, and then I decided to do single house because of, at this time, like COVID times, it was affecting everything, every sector. And I thought that the single family houses are going to be great. So yeah, and after searching more about it, when I check my records, I think I have talked to you in May, and I talked to, as I said, other regional centers, but I have decided to go with you and Coulter. So I think, my main reason, if you were to ask me why I did go with you, because of your openness, and I had the opportunity to meet with you, and you really work hard, you and your partner. I also heard from other investors. I had the opportunity to talk to them. They told me that you and your partner are great. So to feel some comfort, it's the most important thing. And I felt that with you. So that's why I chose you and Coulter.
Got it. We really, really appreciate that. We've been working with Coulter now for 10 years on more than 15 projects, and everything's gone perfectly, and we're really excited to be partnered with them on this project and others coming in the future as well. In terms of the project itself, how obviously having done research on the program, there's rural projects, there's non-rural projects, there's projects under construction, projects that are early on without a lot of construction. How important was it for you, when you were looking at different projects, to be in a rural project versus one that's not rural, and then one with jobs already created versus not? Like how did that kind of fit into your decision?
You know what? When you ask USCIS, they say that there should be some risk. Of course, there should be some risk for EB5, but you still want to have some kind of trust. And even my country wasn't India or China, like they have like backlogs. I still wanted to. I still chose the rural project because the things are gonna be going faster, and that's why, first of all, I chose the rural projects, and the Twin Lake project. Why I chose? It's like, oh my God, let me say, they had already all the jobs created, and everything was approved. There were other investors before me. They went through the same things. It everything gives you like some kind of relief that you are not the only one. And to be honest, I didn't go to, unfortunately, the Twin Lake project site, but I talked to the real estates over there, the realtors. I talked to other investors. I called the sales office and talked to them. And I also asked Anita. She was really helpful. And yeah, I think it gives you really relief to know that the jobs are already created and the processing it's going to be faster, hopefully. And also because I have an E2, so I didn't need to wait to apply for change of status later, so I could do the both at the same time. So, and hearing that one of our, I believe, latest investor, let me say that he got his travel and work permit visa like within 2 months. It was like, okay, this should be a really good project to invest in. That's why it was one another reason for me to choose the Twin Lake or the rural project.
Yep. Got it. Okay. In terms of working with the EB5AN team, how was your experience? What was that like, separate from working with Anita on the documentation side?
So I think I have talked to you first in May when I'm going to be honest here. When I first talked to you over the phone, everyone tells me that I am a cold person. I felt the same for you, that he is knowledgeable, he knows what he is doing, but he's a little bit cold. But then when I met you in July, second week in July, you had a meeting, like organization in SF. Seeing you in person, it was a great opportunity, and seeing that how well you prepared, learning about your background, hearing about from your partners, your company, it was great. And when I saw the PowerPoint that you have prepared and then all the materials that you have sent me, I was like, oh my God, there are so many informations even I don't need, or even I wouldn't think about asking it. So you are so upfront and you are approachable like Anita, and you are open, you promising like to give us all the documents. Of course, as much as you can't give like every details, but in general, you are able to offer like all the documents that's needed for someone to make a decision. So you really made it easier. You made the process easier for me, and I'm sure for the other investors. So I'm really thankful.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Okay, that's really helpful. So I guess kind of stepping back, now you've gone through the whole process, you've filed the application. Looking back, what kind of advice would you give for other potential investors who are considering, making an EB5 investment, let's say over the next year? What are some of the things to kind of just keep in mind, for someone who's just starting, going through the process like you started, back in May?
Search, ask questions. Do not trust everything that you read or hear on Google. Try to call everyone, visit if it's possible, talk to people and get the feeling that if the project is trustable or the person is trustable. I mean, it might seem tiring, complicated, or confusing because, as I said, it's a big investment. It's not like one day decision, but it's a great opportunity. So you need to feel as comfortable as possible, and because it's going to be on your mind for next 5-6 years, so you really need to be careful, but just feel comfortable, because when you feel comfortable about the project and lawyer and the regional center, believe me, we have applied, as I said, in September. I didn't even think one day what's going to happen. What's going to happen is going to happen, but just make sure that you have done your due diligences, you have done researches, you found some project that you trust, and go for it.
Great. Thank you. That's very helpful advice.
Sure.